What's up, team? My name is Tom, and today I'm gonna react to 5 reasons why the US military will make you dead. Wow, what the name of the video. Also, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Very important. Let's jump into the video. Let's go. Looks like a news. Yeah, US military news. Wanna fight America?
Wanna fight America? 5 reasons the U.S. military
You wanna fight America?
will make you dead.
Oh.
The United States is the most formidable military power the world has ever seen. Arguably, since the end of the Cold War, America has enjoyed a level of dominance unparalleled in history. Neither Rome nor the British Empire enjoyed such a level of superiority over rival powers. While the American military is not the largest on Earth, it is by far the best trained and best equipped force on the planet, putting rivals like Russia and China to shame.
Yeah, no doubt about that. From the previous videos about US Army, we already found out that the US has the biggest budget when it comes down to army, right? The biggest amount of bases all over the world. And if you compare the budget of USA, you can stack all other country budgets all together and they will still be behind. So USA is way ahead of that, and that's good in my opinion.
But it took generations to develop America's military into the world-beating force it is today. And it wasn't until the end of the Civil War that the U.S. fielded armies that could challenge European militaries on the battlefield. From then onwards, it took 2 world wars before the U.S. military finally established itself as the most dominant force on Earth.
Look at the plane, my gosh.
Here are 5 of all-time deadliest innovations in America's arsenal. Number 1. The Gatling gun.
Good old Gatling gun.
First fielded during the American Civil War, which to this day is the deadliest war in U.S. history with over 600,000 military dead.
Oh my
The Gatling
God.
gun was one of the first rapid-fire weapons in history. Consisting of multiple...
Listen, guys, this gun is so scary. It has so many rounds, man. It's like destroying everything, man. Everything. And prototype of this Gatling gun is used everywhere nowadays, like in many guns, because it shoots a lot of rounds per minute, you know. That's like phenomenal.
Multiple barrels rotating around a central axis. The weapon, invented by Richard Gatling, solved the problem of providing sustained fires for the first time in the gunpowder age. Initially, the U.S. Army, due to the service's conservative nature, was reluctant to adopt Gatling's invention. After Gatling had improved on his initial 6-barrel design that fired 350 rounds per minute, the Army did eventually...
350 rounds per minute. Imagine how much did this weapon replace troops, right? Back then, there was no automatic guns. Basically, you could shoot like 1 round, maybe 2 rounds per minute. This gun, 3 of these guns, man, and like it destroys all of the army.
Adopt the new weapon. It was first used in 1864 at the Battle of Petersburg in Virginia. After the end of the Civil War, the Army used a 10-barrel Gatling gun that could fire 400 rounds per minute during various conflicts with the Native American population in what are now the western states.
This is mad.
The Maxim machine gun eventually replaced the Gatling gun, but the crude hand-driven weapon heralded what was to come. During the brutal trench warfare of World War I, untold thousands fell to machine gun fire.
Man, this is scary what people invent to kill each other. This is really scary. Why? What is about our nature that makes us wanna like fight to get more, to be dominant, you know, to dominate all the time and kill each other? What? Why can we not live in peace? I don't understand this, man. Ooh, man, this one is scary. Plane shooter.
Number 2. The atomic bomb. United States developed the atomic bomb during the height of the Second World War under a program called the Manhattan Project. The project kicked off in 1939 when the Advisory Committee on Uranium told President Franklin Roosevelt that the element would provide a possible source of bombs with a destructiveness vastly greater than anything now known. Work on the bomb went into overdrive after the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, when the United States formally entered World War II against Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. Much of the urgency was driven by the belief that the Nazis were working on their own version of the bomb. The project eventually succeeded and yielded the two-weapon design that ultimately brought the Second World War to an end. On August 6, 1945, a lone B-29 bomber called Enola Gay, commanded by Colonel Paul Tibbets, destroyed the city of Hiroshima with a single 15-kiloton nuclear weapon called Little Boy. A few days later...
Listen, guys, I have heard like some witnesses from Hiroshima, and they were saying horrible things, right? When atomic bomb strikes, man, that was horrible. He said everything was burning, even water was burning, and people were jumping into the water, thinking that they would be able to save themselves, but in the same time, water was burning also, so it was hell on earth, man. Man, thank God we live in a day and age where the war is happening, yeah, but it's not as much as it was in Second World War, and hopefully we won't see World War III, because this is so dumb to, in this day and age, when everything is so developed, when we can live full life, you know, enjoy everything, to go to war, to die because of some ideology, right? It's so dumb.
Later, a 21-kiloton yield weapon called Fat Man destroyed Nagasaki on August 9, 1945. Seeing the writing on the wall, the Emperor of Japan ordered an unconditional surrender. The world would never be the same with the dawn of the atomic era. Number 3. Precision-guided weapons. Since the 1970s, one of America's decisive advantages in war has been the ability to hit targets precisely. During most of history, war has basically been about throwing a huge volume of fire at a target with a small chance of actually hitting anything. The introduction of precision-guided weapons changed all that. For example, when the 8th Air Force launched a massive air raid to knock out German ball-bearing plants in 1943, it launched around 400 B-17 bombers to hit the targets. Most of the bombs, dropped at appalling cost in men and aircraft, didn't even come close to hitting their targets. The pattern has repeated itself over and over, and entire squadrons would be launched to hit a single target. More often than not, they wouldn't hit a thing. That all changed towards the end of the Vietnam War. In 1972, laser-guided bombs allowed U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy jets to hit targets precisely. Instead of dozens of jets trying to strike a single target in vain, one jet could hit multiple targets during a sortie. While in 1972, there were only a handful of precision-guided weapons available, in 2015, almost all weapons dropped from American warplanes are precision-guided. Precision-guided weapons have given U.S. forces the edge for the past 40 years.
That's for sure.
But it's an advantage that is starting to slip as other nations develop their own equivalent weapons.
Bam!
Number 4. Stealth. With the development of ever more capable Soviet surface-to-air weapons during the 1960s and 1970s, the United States Air Force had to come up with a solution to defeat the ever-increasing threat. The answer was stealth technology, which would reduce an aircraft's radar cross-section and infrared signature. Ironically, it was a Soviet scientist by the name of Pyotr Ufimtsev who first discovered the equations to develop a low-radar cross-section aircraft. Ufimtsev's work eventually came to the attention of Lockheed engineer Dennis Overholzer, who then developed the configuration for the first stealth aircraft, which he called the...
I can tell you one thing, guys. In Russia, there's a lot of talented people, and because people like Putin, right? Those people leave their country and they go to another countries, and after that, countries like America, other countries, they just benefit of that. So from one side, like America can say thank you, like to Soviet Union, to Putin, you know, because the regimes, they try to get rid of anybody who is against the regime. So and many times it is like people who are very smart, very talented, and you know, like the enemy uses a lot, you know, the Russian enemy uses that a lot. So you know,
the Hopeless Diamond. The Hopeless Diamond eventually evolved into the Lockheed F-117, the world's first operational stealth aircraft in 1981. From that initial starting point, American stealth aircraft development took off in new directions.
Man, that's interesting.
The B-2, F-22, F-35, and pretty much every other American stealth aircraft originates from those early efforts to defeat the Soviet air defense system. The net result today is the nearly unstoppable juggernaut that is the U.S. Air Force.
For sure. U.S. Air Force, U.S. Navy, and also the U.S. Army. My gosh, I mean, if you want to take out America, good luck, my man, because in my opinion, they are so way ahead of everybody when it comes to weapons, you know. So, man.
Number 5. Drones. When Abe Karem first developed the NAT, which eventually evolved in the General Atomics MQ-1 Predator, he probably could not have imagined his invention would herald a revolution in the ways wars are fought. Instead of risking lives over the battlefield, American forces can fight remotely with these new systems. While initially considered a passing fad, the past 15 years have shown that unmanned aircraft are here to stay, and war will never be the same. The MQ-1 Predator, which was first introduced over the Balkans in 1990s, is a crude aircraft. Its follow-on, the MQ-9C Reaper, is a little more sophisticated, but it's the start of something that will change warfare forever. Aircraft like the carrier-based Northrop Grumman X-47B are starting to show the true potentials of such machines. Indeed, aircraft without pilots might be the dominant weapon during the remaining decades of this century. As recently as yesterday, Navy Secretary Ray Mabus told an audience that the U.S. Navy will never buy another manned strike fighter again after the F-35C. And if Mabus's vision comes to fruition, unmanned aircraft will give the U.S. unmatched capabilities well into the future.
Man, drones are the game changer, you know, like in Ukraine nowadays, because of the lack of the ammunition, right? They are using drones, and they are using drones very effectively, and they have even created their own drone manufacturing, right? They have a drone target, and then they just put TNT on the drones and just like flew the kamikaze drones into tanks, into people, man. And game changer, I'm telling you.